There we go. That's the right button. Put that right like that. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. We're just going. I'm just on my own. I think Peaches said they wanted to join, but I haven't seen them yet. I sent them a bunch of invites, but I don't know if they'll be joining. Oh well. So it's probably just me today, if that's the case. Maybe someone else might join. Who knows? Wow. This is just a nice little world that's based. It's just like a little tree house. If I walk over here, you can see it a bit better. Yeah, it's like a little tree house and all that. Yeah. Oh, hello, Nathan. How you doing, bud? It's good to see you. Yeah. I'm just currently working on getting all my stuff set up, and yeah, we're going to check out a few worlds. This one's just a nice little tree house with tents and other things around. There's a bunch of little wee like tables you can play games at, like checkers and chess and pool table. Yeah. So you can have to do all kinds of cool stuff here. Yeah. There's also a target practice range. You can have to just shoot targets. Yeah. It's a pretty nice little world, this one. It has a bunch of avatars as well. They're like these little cute little fluffy ones. Yeah, these ones. Oh, there's Peaches. He finally joined. I'm doing good. I came quick. Oh, it's all good. Yeah. Yeah, good to hear. There's Peaches. He's just, sorting things out. Wow.
Where did that go?
Hello, Peaches.
Heyo. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Good to hear you. See ya. Ah. We're just,
I
exploring
just
a
gotta
few
make sure I don't
worlds.
step on that squeaky toy.
Oh, man, might want to put that somewhere so you don't trip on it. Yeah.
No, it's one of those dog onesie, a squeak.
Oh, I know the ones you're
As
talking
I've got a
about.
lot of those fursuit pops.
Oh, yeah. That makes plenty of sense. Yeah. Um.
And
Oh,
I'm
so.
working on shortcut.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's a video editor for anyone who doesn't know. It's completely free to use. There's no ads or any of that nonsense. It's open source, so you can auto install this on pretty much everything except for Android. So Linux, Mac, and Windows. So that's pretty handy for anyone who wishes to install their own video editing software. So essentially everything except for mobile. I recommend this one because this is what I use for actually editing all of my videos here on YouTube. 9 times out of 10, if it's a video that I've uploaded, it's either been edited directly through the software or through YouTube when I'm making shorts. I normally, if it's not something complex, I just use YouTube's internal editor. If it's just like trimming something, it's one of those kinds of things. But yeah,
Yeah. And then
for
I've
anyone who
been
doesn't know.
sorting some graphical issues as well.
Oh yeah.
Because Windows has completely buggered my Elgato HD60.
Oof.
That's pretty much not working.
Yeah.
Because they only recommend up to
Nathan says
7, not
hi
10.
Peach, and how are you doing?
Heyo. I'm doing good, mostly editing videos
Wow.
and sorting out stuff.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I've been
And
in
then
a
just
similar
getting
boat.
over the cold as well, so yeah.
Oh yeah, that's something. Um, I've finally gotten someone, and this person I actually owe them a big thank you. Um, they helped me with a bit of work on a project of mine. That I've been wanting to do for VR chat for a while, and that was adding something to one of my avatars. I don't have it uploaded yet, but I have all the stuff I need. One of my friends said they might be able to help me with setting it up, and the person who made this thing said they'll be able to help me add it to one of my avatars. So after stream, I might be able to upload said thing if they're available to do so. Yeah. So,
As
yeah,
I said to a friend, what I think would be funny on an avatar, but I've not seen anyone do, is a detachable tail.
That's not too hard to do, like, especially if you had a protogen, that would be
So an
really
avatar
fun.
where you could just disconnect the tail and just run around with the tail.
Yeah, that's doable. I'd do that with something like with a protogen. It just has like a plug-looking connection. Just playing Xbox. Oh, it's all good. Yeah. So yeah, I'd definitely do that. Just have a plug on it, and then it just clunk comes undone.
Yeah. Because with the Elgato, first Windows wasn't saying it for security, and I reinstalled the drivers, and now it's saying it as an unknown device.
Oh, did you restart the computer?
Yeah, multiple
Okay.
times, and it's pretty much just still saying unknown device, so it's pretty much
I
bugging
had
it.
an issue with my Wi-Fi adapter in my computer, and I did pretty much the exact same thing, and I didn't have a problem. Maybe you might need to try reinstalling the driver or look up the issue. If there's some sort of like
Because
customer support.
it's so old, they don't support them anymore.
Ah, there you go.
It's an Elgato
Yeah.
HD60, which is was last compatible with Windows 7.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I haven't used anything Elgato or Elgato, whatever, before. I do have a capture card, but it's just this really, really basic one, and it's not anything too high quality. Hello, bud. What VR
Yeah.
chat is 10 years old? Yeah, it's pretty old. When it first started out, it was very, very limited at what you could do. And now you can do quite a bit in VR chat. There are worlds like this one that have a whole bunch of features. There's games, there's video players, mirrors. It's kind of interesting how far it's come. There is literally worlds on VR chat that are as old as 2017 that are still uploaded last I checked. Some of those worlds, yeah, they've seen better years. But a lot of the stuff that's been happening on here has been pretty impressive. One of the key pieces of development was the last big virtual furry event that happened on here, which was Ferality. That one of the Ferality events that happened here, was so big they had over 200 people in one lobby. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but do keep in mind most multiplayer games on the internet barely get 100 people per lobby. That's double what most games have in them. That's impressive. In sheer scale. It works It just works. The main issue is it's an audio issue because there's so many people in said area that you can't hear everyone, and it can actually cause an issue with the back end and crashing. Yeah, it's pushing the limits.
Yeah, it'd probably destroy headsets wise. It'd be like, nope.
It's not so much the headset
Because mine lags
issue.
after it's like 10 people.
It's more or less the client doesn't know how to deal with that many people talking at once. Hence why a lot of nefarious individuals used audio crashes. No thoughts. A lot. I tried to run VR chat without a headset. Man, time's not as cool as the actual experience, but it's still fun. Yeah, it is still fun on desktop. That's how I started out. I just plugged in an Xbox controller and and was able to chat with people, and there was some cool stuff you could do still. I will say. I'd say you'd be able to pick up a second-hand headset off of eBay or somewhere. Just look for a decent seller with decent reviews. I've purchased quite
I
a few
wonder if
headsets.
there's a way to run the vrchat through a Nintendo Wii. That would just be funny if you could get that to work.
I wouldn't think so, because it's probably under the specifications minimum for even running Steam alone.
The only thing I don't get
Yeah.
with the vrchat is that they haven't ported it to current gen consoles, because it would be able to run the vrchat with no issue.
It's not so much the problem that it would be able to run, it's the problem that these corporations don't want to.
Yeah, there's a copyright and
No,
rubbish.
no, it's just a whole bunch of other problems. It's because, and this is why I don't play on consoles, modern ones at least. Like I'm fine with using like some of the older consoles, like a PS2 or like N64. Hand me one of those things, and I'll probably have a go playing it. But yeah. Most modern consoles.
Because what I'm planning to do is
Mm?
have two of them on my setup, and then
Yeah.
have like 8 different retro systems running through an 8-way
Oh yeah.
AV splitter, a manual one that can run through the whole
You can
port.
click through them and select the system you want to run from one computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those are pretty handy.
There's a whole pork. They're all
Yeah.
pretty old. Hog pork HD PVRs, but it does component out, and you can also use AV and S-video on it. So they're really useful for the old retro systems that are analog.
Yeah. Yeah. I've used quite a few different old systems and stuff. Some of the older stuff I'm running on my end, one of my monitors still uses a I don't think it's VGA, but it's one of the similar ones to that. It's decent enough for what it does, but most of my modern graphic systems, like my computer, it's either HDMI or DisplayPort on the back end. And surprisingly, here's a fun thing. DisplayPorts have a higher bandwidth than HDMI, and here's a thing for anyone, if they ever get into developing their own hardware, which I don't blame anyone if they're not here, it's no biggie. DisplayPorts do not require any licensing agreements to use them, so you're not paying a royalty to use DisplayPorts, compared to HDMI, which you actually have to pay quite a bit to use them. So there you go. For anyone who ever wants to know why a lot of graphics cards have more DisplayPorts than HDMI these days, that's why.
And then one I'm going to see if I can get one eventually, but they're expensive, is I finally found an RF to AV converter.
Oh yeah, yeah, those are useful.
Which is really useful for if you've got the really old consoles that use RF. Yeah.
Here's a fun thing.
Because that will not work with anything else.
If you're not aware about how most drones that have cameras on them, how they send the video back to your controller or to a headset, like a FPV drone, they actually use old school TV signal. They use an analog signal. And the reason for this is an analog signal is not a paired signal, it's only transmitting. And it doesn't require you to pair it to one device. The only downside is anyone who has one of these devices can tune in and watch. Which in some ways is a good thing, because then you could be able to not have to use weird complicated software. You just have to tune it like a radio. And anyways, the other advantage, even if the signal is getting slightly interrupted, it won't lag, it just gets a little bit staticky. You can still somewhat make out an image. And when you're flying a drone at hundreds of miles an hour, at least being able to see where you're going, even if it's a bit staticky, is definitely a good thing. Most of these drones also have, if you're like recording video, they normally have like an action camera essentially mounted to them. So you have one camera for viewing where you're going and the other one's recording. And it's saving it to a local SD card on the drone. And yeah, that's just technology for you. So I think we'll go to a different world in a bit. But let's first explore this one around a bit. I do have a couple worlds that I found recently. I think you mentioned one of them as well recently.
Yeah, I think it was Conker's Bad Fur Day World.
Yes, that's the one. I've got that favorited, I believe, in my account. Anyways, this way. So, we're explored around the outside edge. And here's just a bunch of avatars. They're all public ones that you can be able to find. Yeah, they've updated it a few times in here, I believe. Yeah.
I think mine's still the V2.
Love Conker's Bad Fur Day. Yeah, it's an interesting style game from its time. Very interesting. Yeah. What were you up to yesterday? Me, I actually was just cruising on vrchat and doing a couple little projects. Yeah. I've also got my garden. I've got my own garden over here. I should post some of the pictures on Blue Sky. For anyone who doesn't know, I have Blue Sky. You can follow me there if you wish. I know, plugging my socials.
I need to update mine.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, there's a TV in here. There's a small pool table in here as well. Hammock, mirrors, etc., etc. There's also, this world also has a, what's this thing called? I'm trying to remember. You can be able to set your avatar to this thing as well if you've got, my brain, it forgot it. Interesting is good world. Like the creators Conker, but the game was lacking.
I'm just eating all the cookies.
Better to watch a movie as a movie, my opinion. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Anyways, there's a ladder over here. And it just takes us up to the second level. There's also a plate of cookies.
I am tempted to get I'm tempted to get an Atari 7800, but
oh boy, good
as
luck
long
with
as I get the
finding one.
RF modulator.
Yeah.
Because with the old consoles like Atari, they use RF, which is essentially
like
an antenna.
Frequency. Oh yeah, it's weird.
So to run it on modern stuff, you need RF to AV converters to convert it to AV, and then AV to HDMI. Or if you've got an old analog one, like I've got AV to HDMI to capture card.
Yeah. Some capture cards just do straight out that.
Which is what I like with analog. It's all it's both complicated and mechanical.
Yeah, it's stupidly simple but complicated at the same time for anyone who's not aware. Ugh. And this is the most highest floor. And then there's like a... I can't remember what that is. It's essentially just a game you can play. Oh, it's drinking roulette. You spin it and then it's like either a truth or dare, and instead of the truth or dare, it's like truth or drink or something like that.
Yeah.
It's one of those kinds of games. I don't normally drink a lot, so.
Oh, there's a mirror there.
Oh yeah, there's a mirror. Yeah.
Mirror.
Bah. Yeah, it's one of those interesting worlds. Yeah, I think we'll go to a different one in a sec. I've got quite a few in my favorited and recently visited. Let's see here. Yeah, it was either under Worlds 1 or 4. Might be under 4. Let's see here. No, it might be 3. Yep, it was 3. Friends Plus, and I'll drop a portal right here. Here we go. We'll go take a look at this. Yeah. And honestly, the years of bygone technology are sometimes just as interesting as the new stuff. I am working on a project soon. I've just got to see if I've got enough funds to do said project, because it has some very pricey components. And here we go. And in we go. Whee. This is the interesting. There's a lot of different drinks and stuff and photos and all that. Yeah. Oh.
Huh.
Yeah, that's one of those weird games that I found that I thought was interesting. Yeah. Oh, you'll be right back. It's all good, bud. What's over here? Whoa! Oh, we're in the basement. Okay. Do the milks have toonie on them? Oh, let me see. Yeah, let me see.
Nintendo 64 in there.
Oh, there we go. That's what's on them. Oh, you can't see it. There we go.
Milky.
It is. Yeah, it's a
skunk.
Yeah, there's a skunk on the back of it. Whee! Yeah, it was edited. Someone else put that on the back of it. Sometimes, yeah, you go to certain worlds and like people change things if they made a game rip, either to avoid copyright issues,
in there.
or they change it just to make a funny little reference.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something there for you. I've seen some pretty cool things people do though. Oh yeah, it's on the back of it is the reference. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
I just found an N64 cube.
Where?
Up there.
Oh, there's too. There's an N64 cube right up there.
And there's a console in that door as well.
Where?
In that door.
Oh.
The actual inside.
Oh yeah, there is too. If I turn around, you can see it on the floor with a cartridge and a few other things. And then there's this umbrella. Oop. Okay, that's weird. It doesn't want to move any further than that. Okay, that's weird. Oh, hey John, how you doing? It's good to see you as well. Yeah. Wow. Yep, Kazooie head umbrella. That's kind of cool though, the idea of that.
I found the cellar.
You're kind of hurt. Aw. Oh, you popped your back. You take care of yourself, bud. If you think you've dislodged a disc, make sure you go get yourself to a doctor, okay, bud? But if it's only minor, I'd say just rest. Don't strain your back for a while, and yeah. Okay, that's good to hear, bud. What's back here? Oh, this is a bathroom? Yeah. Okay, that's, no. Yeah, there's stuff in there that I can't show. Let's just say bathroom humor. Let's just leave it at that for everyone. Yeah. Blah. Yes, it is. He's just randomly running around all over the show. Yeah. Yep. Oh, you're back. Oh, we're just in,
And there's a cellar down there as well.
Oh, yeah, there's a cellar over there. We can go in the cellar. There we go. What's this? There's a mirror with a skull in it. Because scary, spooky skeletons. Okay, that's just another... Those are just all mirrors. Oh no, those are avatars or something. No? Oh. Okay. I'm in a... what looks like a... like one of those kind of like business style meeting halls or something. Blah. Well, do you celebrate Halloween in New Zealand? Here's a fun thing. It's kind of is occasionally celebrated in some places in New Zealand, but not as common as it is in the US. Some places people do. It's not as common though. Yeah. Blah.
The same over here, it's not celebrated that much.
Yeah. We mainly do like Christmas, New Year's.
Guy Fawkes.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Oh, hey, nice. How you doing, bud? It's good to see you. How you been? Blah. Nice husky. Yeah. They're an amazing musician. Oh, that's good. I've been doing a lot of my own personal projects. Finally got something working with finally getting some work done for us for making some avatar stuff for myself. We are currently I'm currently getting a couple other projects at some point if the funding is done. Yeah. Oh yeah, you'll get to see them. I'll be posting pictures on the internet once they're sorted out. I might have them done by today if there isn't any issues. And then I've also got a project that I've been meaning to do for a long while, and I'm making something really interesting. If I have the fundings, I should do, but I just want to make sure I've got enough money for, getting by of the week and all that. Yeah. And this project is kind of one of those ones that's like, I've only ever seen one other YouTuber do this, and I'm probably going to be one of the only others that probably is crazy enough, foolish enough, or just all the above to build such a thing as a... if you've ever seen that one meme from Dragon Ball Z where it's like over 9,000...
Helicopter.
Yeah, your hands are doing a helicopter. Careful you don't smack them on something. That one little headpiece with a lens that sits in front of your eye, that is what's known as a augmented reality smart glasses. Now, there's been a lot of talk about smart glasses on the market, but unfortunately, a lot of these devices lack in certain areas. One of them being either privacy, such as them being owned by Facebook and all that nonsense
Google
that
Glass.
no one wants. Essentially, I'm building the equivalent of my own Google Glass without Google. It's very simple but very complex. A lot of hardware and stuff required. The first piece of hardware being the headset itself. Anyways, we're just hanging out in Banjo. Oh no, Conker's Bad Fur Day world thing. Yeah, it's quite a nice little world. It's running all right, honestly. I'm running at 40 on my computer while streaming this, so yeah, whoever did this did it right.
70.
Yeah, you're not running streaming software as well and all that on top of that.
I am running editing software.
Oh yeah. But yeah, we've just been cruising around. The next world we may go to is called Furry Chill Place, which I went to briefly yesterday to check it out, to see how well it ran. And it seemed to run quite okay. Hey Volk, I'm going to be Freddy Krueger on Halloween this year. Oh, that's cool. Looking forward to it. You have a great Halloween, bud. Stay safe and hope you have a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to drop a portal to this next world. Hey, Peaches, where you at?
Bird.
Huh? Oh, you're a pigeon. Okay.
Bird.
Here we go. Well, yeah, and honestly, I've been enjoying finding interesting things to build. I've been meaning to do these sorts of DIY projects for a long while, and mainly I've just been doing a lot of furry stuff, and it's a lot of fun doing both furry stuff and DIY. Okay, here we are. And so we're on a, well, it's like just a sailing ship of some kind, like a pirate ship. Just wait for Peaches to join us. There he is. He's just dropped in. There we go. Having a munch on something. And yeah, so this world seems like someone's like community world. In other terms, someone made this to kind of like bolster their community, like wise. And there's a few groups like that. Yeah, Furry Chill Place, Discord, but this world seems to be a different one from some of the others. And they actually made an entire city. Like, this is an actual, like, little village kind of style. And, it's running quite well for me. So, yeah, they've done a good job. It's compatible on both PC and Android quite well, I believe. Hopefully on Android it's a bit more. Oh no, it's okay, John. You've probably had some stuff you had to do. Yeah, there's a statue in the center of town and a fountain. And there's all these, like, they're not actually horse and cart. They're actually like a steam mobile. Yeah, that's a steam mobile of some kind or another. Yeah. Bar and tavern. There's essentially a whole bunch of buildings, and yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool actually, going to these sorts of worlds and finding things. Yeah, and I hope everyone else is having a hell of a good time this Halloween. It's amazing seeing all the this is the innkeeper. I think this world's very early in design. Like they haven't. There we go. Okay, you can turn on the lights. That's cool. Yeah, good world for just having fun or like just a lot of people. There's video players. I'm guessing these are 2 separate rooms. Yep. Okay. So those are rooms. Wherever Peaches is, there is. Yeah, so those are rooms that you can go into, and they have a whole bunch of different things. Yeah, honestly, whoever made this world, they've done a great job. It's just called the it's literally called the Furry Chill Place. Yeah. And great friend to chat with, Vog. Oh, thank you. That's great to hear. I hope you've been doing well. As of me, Halloween, I do celebrate kind of in vrchat, I guess. I go to a few Halloween themed worlds. Huh?
On the balcony.
Oh yeah, there would be. And that's way back out. Oh, Yeah, this way.
That door doesn't work.
Oh well. Yeah. What else is there? A lot of larger buildings and structures and all that. A lot of people, I think, enjoy just being able to spend their time with friends and doing something. I wouldn't say. I'm gonna say traditional for their time or all that. We've got all kinds of little celebrations we do. Next year, some of our family are going to be having a. What was that, Peaches?
Oh, it is a 3D object, moon.
Oh, it is too. Yeah, the moon's a 3D object. Yeah, and also for anyone who doesn't know, Nice is a free musician, a really good one too. If you ever want to check them out, they've got quite a lot of their content on both YouTube and I think a couple other platforms. Yeah. They also live stream, I believe, on Twitch, if I'm corrected. I don't personally use Twitch. I just didn't like it. Oh, there's a little bar out here and not bad. I think you can turn on. Yeah, the light switch you can turn on. There we go. Yeah. Door doesn't work. Yeah. Pool tables. We gotta click on that.
What pool table?
There. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought it would have been in there too, that room, but no, it's just spawned there. Now I've seen Nice's music videos. Yeah, they're pretty good. He does a great job of them. A lot of interesting artists out there I get to meet on vrchat. I also get to meet some pretty cool people at FurCons, and I'm going to meet a couple of music. I'm actually going to be meeting another furry musician at one of these conventions that I'm going to be going to this year. Over here in New Zealand, there's another FurCon happening up in Auckland. I've already got all the tickets booked and taking a plane up there. I haven't gone on a plane in a long while. Luckily, it isn't going to be too bad. Like, most of the planes over here that are domestic flights...
I wouldn't mind. Tempted to a New Zealand one if my money started a bit better.
I'm sure if you find a hard-working job that you can... If you can find a good hard-working job...
Or money on the side.
Yeah, you can be able to set money aside. A good little way to make a little extra money is trying to find something you can invest into. I can't say what for obvious reasons, but find what works best for you. And obviously, just like any other thing that's technically, hit or miss, I'd always recommend just putting just enough that you can afford to easily do each week, but enough that if something goes wrong with it, it's not going to lose all your life savings. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be patient.
I mean, I'm looking into doing some stuff on the side, like art and stuff.
Oh, that too, yeah. Especially
yes,
if
I
you've
can
got
do
skills
that,
of art.
I need to
yeah. Throw a little money that way, and you can.
I just need to start getting stuff on.
If you especially got yourself a tablet or something you can draw with, you can plug into your computer. You're good. You'll figure out a way. Find yourself a decent art tablet, especially one that you can able to repair.
Yeah, I've got Huey on. I think it's a 13-inch one, the one I've got.
Oh, nice.
The giant tablets.
Ah, I thought about buying an art tablet.
The only thing I remember that's wrong with it though is the wireless receiver to wirelessly have it to the computer broke.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can get another one of those.
So you can get a module.
Because you can have it plugged in.
Oh yeah.
But it's just easier if it's wireless.
Yeah, if it works, it works. Yeah.
As it's a Huey on radar, I think it's called. It's one
go
of the
to
high-end ones.
Streams too. Yes. Yes. Yeah, so we'll continue moving around this world now. So where else is there in this world? There's a bridge, but I don't know if it goes anywhere
Pebbles
outside.
look like baked beans.
Let's just see if there's anything further out of town. If there's not, then we'll just find a different world to go to.
A bridge to nowhere.
I don't know if you're seeing the same effect I am, Peaches, with the water. It's it does
looks a bit like baked beans.
It's doing weird stuff. It's a weird visual effect. I don't think it's... Oh well. I'm sure they'll figure something out if someone sends them in a bug report. Yeah. What do you do and Peach like about Halloween? Hey Peaches, one of the people on the stream was mentioning. What do you do and Peach like about Halloween? For me, I just like hanging out with friends and doing just kind of having fun. I see some pretty cool stuff on here. When Halloween drops by, we have all kinds of events. There's also people making their worlds in like Halloween themes with pumpkins and cut out ghosts and all the rest, all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
I mostly like the different worlds and all of the free games and events you get through Halloween.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As well as, well, of course, for candy, because you get you can get big multi-pack bags of candy around Halloween.
Oh yes, yes. I don't normally eat a lot of candy, but there's like certain ones I absolutely love, but I don't see often. Things like candy corn. I don't see that a lot around here in New Zealand. I just guess it's not as popular of a candy compared to just straight up chocolate bars. Or
one I like, you don't see much nowadays. Parma violets. I do like Parma violets.
Do describe
they're like a pressed candy.
Hard candy?
They're purple, but they're like very perfumey.
I think I know
So
what
think
you're
of like
talking
Love
about.
Hearts type of candy, but they're very perfumey.
They got a lot of fragrance to them, like a sweet fragrant, I'm guessing?
Yeah, and they have an obscure taste to it, yeah.
Oh,
and they're like a purple colour.
It's almost in the
we
back
only
of my
see
mind.
big bags of them around Halloween.
You like popcorn balls? I've never heard of popcorn balls before. What are they? Are they like a little caramel dipped popcorn or something? That's what I'm considering it is, but maybe I'm completely wrong. Yeah. What else is there? Okay, so...
an really old one I like when I can find it is licorice torpedoes.
Oh, yeah, those. Oh, they taste just like caramel. It's right on the bag. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've had licorice torpedoes. They're just like a bit of licorice dipped in chocolate, right?
No, it's in like a hard candy shell.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting.
And they're like a very, very old British sweet that you don't see very often.
It's popcorn shaped like a ball.
Sweets are like the old British ones.
Yeah.
I like the old sweets that you don't
There
get
are
much
some
anymore.
There are a few people who do produce old school candies, but also learning how to make candy has always interested me. Just because of how you can make some really cool designs out there. Hard candy is essentially sugars.
I was also looking at
fruit syrups.
I was also looking at sugar glass if I can.
Oh yeah, that's impressive. Candy corn. For me, candy corn's one of those things I've eaten a couple times and thought was okay. I know it's one of those kinds of things that either you love it or you hate it. I just think it's okay. I don't see it around often. But...
It's a little bit like over here. It's a little bit like over here a thing called white mice.
Yeah.
Which is like a waxy chocolate mice.
Oh, okay.
It's got a very obscure taste, and then some people like them, some people hate those.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I've eaten all kinds of weird candies and all that. I've eaten all kinds of weird foods. Good example. over here we got like quite a few Asian like shops, like both India, China, Japan kind of places. Those kinds of interesting kinds of recipes. Some of the food that you get at these places, like for instance some of the canned goods, you can get canned fish. It comes in a can. It's got a really oily can. It's really oily, and there's beans with it. It's like fish and beans. So instead of pork and beans, you get fish and beans. It's actually kind of tasty, but god damn, there is so much oil in those cans that you could probably oil an entire piece of wood with it. Like if you're a woodworker, you could probably use that oil to oil wood. I like the Reese's pumpkins. Oh, okay. Those are like just the Reese's pieces, but pumpkins. Yeah, interesting.
No, they're a bit like it's a little bit like a peanut butter cup with thin chocolate on.
Yeah,
but it's mostly just peanut butter.
Yeah. They're one of the things I occasionally get, but try not to eat too many of them. They're real very sugary, very peanut buttery. I do eat a bit of peanut butter. I normally make myself occasionally when I'm real hungry and I can't be bothered cooking anything, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. When I want something that fills the gap. Okay. Let's go to another world I have. I might have a couple on my recently visited page that I did not save. Okay. This world is literally just Tron. Friends Plus. Drop Portal. Here we go. Yeah. Some of the other candy that I do find interesting is things like, oh, what were they called? They're essentially, these little wee, they're like a little chocolate with a piece of licorice in the center. And there are two different types. There's the red licorice, and then there's the black licorice. Funny thing about black licorice, that stuff is a dye. The stuff they have in that is like a dye. Peaches just fell off the edge. The second he walked in, he fell off the edge. You alright, bud? Did you have a bit of a fall?
Yeah.
You're not watching where you're going. Yeah, this world's one of those ones. You just gotta kind of look where you're going. Some of the worlds you can aimlessly walk around for a long time before you end up falling off of somewhere. Other ones, like this, you just gotta be a little mindful where you're walking. Yeah, it doesn't have a collider. Interesting. But yeah, it's just a Tron-themed world that I found. Also, fun little thing I might end up doing at some point is trying to maybe upload some interesting avatars, but definitely at some point, because I know a few people who make vrchat worlds, I may employ them with some money to help me make a world. Yeah.
I'm looking into doing a vrchat world, but yeah.
Besides Candy, what was your favorite costume you liked the most? I have not done costuming when it comes to like Halloween, but my fursuit is basically what I've got for the most part. Last time I can say I actually wore like a costume for Halloween. That was like back when I was like probably 12 or so. And it was a Harry Potter themed outfit. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I never got around to doing it when I was a kid because
yeah.
Halloween isn't really much of a thing here.
Yeah.
And where I grew up is kind of a sketchy area.
Oh, yeah.
So it wasn't
yeah.
really allowed to.
Yeah, it wasn't as common. One of the areas we lived, there were people that were, I actually, at one point, did. You always like the scary ones. Oh, boy. Yeah. One of the things we actually did, this is a few years back, I didn't do trick-or-treating myself. By that point, I just felt too old to do it. But I did end up putting out a bowl full of candy canes. And yeah, they were pretty much polished off that night. I saw about 4 or 5 people coming by, little groups, and grabbing a couple candy canes each, and off they went. So yeah, I actually do feel like certain places in New Zealand there are some trick-or-treaters, but it isn't as common. I do feel it's one of those things that it depends on who you are and where you are. Sometimes people like arrange certain like events where they'll host it, like a safe little area, like a park or somewhere where they can able to have it. And yeah, like, if someone wants to do that sort of thing, I definitely recommend doing that, because then you can able to keep an eye on everything, and you know who's there and what's what and all the rest. It's a lot more. I feel a lot more safer for everyone. Yeah. Wow. Where'd Peaches go? Oh, he fell off again.
I was trying to get onto that ledge.
You fell off this ledge.
Yeah, I was trying to get on that ledge because it looks like you can get down there,
Ah.
but no.
Nope. Yeah. Yeah.
Another neat world I know on vrchat is the Simpsons It's a Run world, which has the full world.
Oh yeah, I've been there many times. Yeah. There's a few interesting game worlds that have been uploaded to vrchat. I know all kinds of interesting people on here on vrchat that do some, I'm going to say, pretty impressive things, both with avatars and worlds. One of those things I've seen people do on here, I've seen someone make an avatar that what it did was, while it was in this first phase, it would take dozens of screenshots. It would then save them to the avatar somehow. I'm not too sure how it does all this. I'm just going off of what I know. It then plays a scene from the Outer Worlds. It's that one little indie game. And then, for anyone who doesn't know, the star that's at the end of this game that explodes, it plays all these screenshots back. It's kind of interesting to see this. If someone actually goes that far into detail to create something like that, deserves an award of creativity, of being able to create an avatar that does all these animations and all these effects. And this person actually works on the Fidelity team, like the Fidelity staff, so they're really quite a talented individual. They do some pretty cool stuff. I have respect for people who actually they can take something from another game and then introduce it into another one, and then completely reconfigure it to work within that game as well as they have is impressive. It's just impressive seeing stuff. I actually have a video of this on my latest compilation of this in action, if you want to go see it. The individual who made this animation for his avatar is Hairu, if I'm pronouncing it right. He's quite an interesting individual. I think he's even done content on here on YouTube, I believe. If you wish to go see his content, he's got a channel. I can't remember how to pronounce it. It's like Hiru. It's a very short name. It's one of those names, it's like, it's got very few letters, but it's like remembering how those few letters go together kind of thing. Wow, my brain's rambling again. Uh, oh, what's this?
Mm.
It's like a tanuki.
Item.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yee. It's a
Don't know if I
tatum
can do
that's a
what done to
tanuki.
send.
Yee.
No, I can't do what done to send.
Oh.
Basically, I grabbed his nose and just went nom 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 nom.
Yee. Yeah. Quite a good trick. Uh, yeah, it was quite trick or treating when I was 15. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things that either you've done it or you didn't. But yeah, it's definitely interesting seeing all the interesting things that I now see today. Like, for instance, a lot of the people who make interesting costumes for Halloween or like redesign their fursuits and all that to have like Halloween themes to them, or different themes, is impressive. What about your favorite Halloween movie? That would be Monster House. If you've ever watched that movie, Peaches. Your microphone turned off?
Oh, I'm myself muted.
It's all good.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen Monster House. That's a good one.
Yeah, I thought it was quite a good one in my opinion. The other one that I watched recently was The Night Before Christmas, was it? That's a Jack Skellington or something like that. It was an interesting one. Yeah.
If you want to go with like a cheesy film, one that's really funny is The Greasy Strangler.
Oh,
That's
gosh.
funny.
Sounds like it. What do I think of that
And
one
then one I was
person
watching
from
recently
Family
is
Guy? What do I think of that greased up death guy from Family Guy? God dang it. Yeah.
and one I was watching recently, it's really funny, is
Yep.
Brits for
And
Clown, I
Under
think
the...
it's called.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
is by the same person who done Police Academy.
Oh, God.
It's by the same guy that was in Police
I've
Academy.
seen Police Academy. That's something that movie is.
But they're going around as clowns, and it's really funny.
Oh boy, clowns. If anyone remembers
Because with me in
this,
horror films, I find the funny ones that
more
are
better
not
than the
too
scary
horror-y,
ones.
but the funny ones.
Yeah, the ones that do silly stuff. Yeah, I get what you mean. Oh, I think there was like one of these like ones with zombies, and they're doing all the zombies are just falling around or something, like trying to eat people. That they end up falling over or just getting shall I say, disassembled in some spectacularly funny ways. I'll leave your imaginations to that so that you don't have to get too creative. But one of the funnier ones I saw a while back was probably was probably Jack Skellington. That was one of my ones that I liked. Night Before Christmas and all that. Nightmare Before Christmas. That's the right one. Yeah. But oh my gosh, do I find some of the people's avatars that they have, but also fursuits, are impressive. Like, some people go out above and beyond with what they create. It's just impressive. Like, I've seen some skull dogs out there that do amazing animations with their fursuits, but also in VR. Top of the line, honestly. They look amazing around, especially for that sort of stuff. Like, if anything, you want a Halloween themed fursuit, skull dogs or something of similar nature look pretty cool. Hands down, they're some of the most interesting fursuits out there. I've seen one fursuit,
and I've still got mine in the works.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
That one just needs furring, but because what happened after the convention, everything got pushed back pretty much.
Oh, it's all good. You take your time with it. There's no point rushing a fursuit head. You take your time.
Yeah, it just
I've
needs furring pretty much, and then
yeah.
do the rest of the parts for it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Like, it takes a while. Like, I know one of the fursuit makers over here. I've got at least 2 fursuit makers over here that I'm using. One of them is Hello Ball Floof, is TK Crafts, they're one, and Jackal's Pride, that's the other one. There are 2 really decent fursuit makers over here in New Zealand, and they do pretty good, honestly. If you ever want to if you're in the Oceania area, check out those ones. They do amazing stuff. They deserve a lot. We're just cruising around vrchat worlds talking about random stuff. I hope you've been having a great Halloween, by the way. Yeah, that's great. I honestly have been.
I mean, at some point, I want to restore and preserve the old feature because
fair enough.
it's getting to that age that all of the foam's disintegrating.
Well,
so it needs to be pretty much rebuilt.
You could probably salvage the fur itself, removing the old foam, and then putting a new one and just slipping the original fur over top of a new foam.
Yeah, that's
head.
what I'm planning to do.
Yeah. And just
to preserve it because it's getting to that age.
So for anyone that's new around fursuit making, there is a way of 3D printing fursuit heads that makes them both strong and lightweight, but also flexible, so they can take an impact.
Yeah.
And it's called it's a type of filament called TPU, and instead of being hard and rigid, and if you accidentally drop it, it would crack.
It's like a rubber.
Yeah, it's exactly like a rubber. It's the best way to describe it. And I've used this stuff myself, and I can confirm it is pretty sturdy. Like, you have to really push or pull at this material to cause it to break. And since it's a thermal plastic...
And then the new head of made sure that it's got basically a plastic salad bowl in the head, so it's nice and solid.
Cool.
But it does weigh probably about 1 kilogram.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's quite a weighty fursuit head.
My one's, I wouldn't say super heavy, but it is a hard resin head, which are like, they're molded from hard resin.
But I made it in a way that's pretty much solid and a snug fit. But it's also got 20/20 vision, so
that's good.
You can pretty much see all the way around you.
That's good to hear, bud. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Volk, do you and Peach ever hit a Spirit of Halloween? Really good Halloween store. Oh! I don't think we have that over here. Do you? Peaches?
Not really, no. Usually with Halloween stuff, you'll find...
It's normally
like for side shops or...
Yeah.
Or in like for supermarkets.
Yeah, it's like sold in large, like, stores like you got over there, but it isn't like a dedicated store to that. Technically, we used to have something
The only
in
thing
one of
I'm
towns.
tempted to get... The only thing I'm tempted to get Halloween stuff I've seen recently at a shop, which I'm waiting for them to drop a price on, is for selling fake blood in the shops now as well.
Oh, yeah.
Which will be really good for video editing.
You could make some.
Like if you're doing certain video editing scenes, you can use it for that.
Fake blood, what I would possibly use is some kind of food dye. Because, one, it's food dye and it's water soluble, so washing it off of anything that you get it on is easy enough, and it's food grade, so it doesn't matter if you end up accidentally ingesting any. Yeah. I'm going to be listening to my music, so I'll see you all guys later. You have a good one, Nathan. It was good seeing you. Oh yeah, I forgot about Spirit Halloween existed. Yeah. But yeah, well, most of New Zealand it's 50-50 with Halloween.
Yeah, we don't give that.
Yeah.
There is some stuff I've seen as Billy Wayne and other on TikTok and other looks really good. But you don't get them here. If you want them in the UK, though, you have to import it from America to the UK, which is expensive.
Oh, yeah. Like, importing some of the stuff I have to get is not cheap, but I wouldn't say it was expensive. It depends on what I'm importing. One of the things I'm looking at buying will cost me, I'm going to say around about $59 just in taxes, just to import the item. The object itself costs about $400 and is no bigger than like the palm of my hand. Yeah. Electronics can get really weird really easily sometimes. But yeah. I'm going to be building something that looks like it's from Cyberpunk. That's why I love that sort of technology. Our technology has definitely caught up in the last few decades. It's impressive. What kind of Halloween events do you have in New Zealand? Not a lot, really. To be honest, you might, like, some schools and all that might arrange things like costume day at school or something like that. Oh, yes, corn mazes. Funny thing, I remember seeing an advert for here in New Zealand for a corn maze. It was literally called the Amazing Maze because it was made of not corn, like sweet corn that you eat, but maize. The difference between the two, one is sweet, one is very not sweet. Trust me, I can tell you the difference from biting into both the cobs. Yeah. But yeah, we have mazes like that occasionally over here. I haven't seen them personally, but I know they're in some parts of New Zealand. Corn mazes. Yeah.
I mean, I've got rainbow corn plants down my dad's.
Oh yeah, those. I've seen those. Rainbow corn. That's normally popcorn. It's not the corn that you eat, but it's a popcorn corn. Oh, hello,
No,
dear.
it's corn on the cob, but different pigments in it.
Yeah.
That's like corn on the cob, but multicolored.
They either use it for making corn starches and corn flour, or popcorn. It's the kind of corn that you don't eat straight off the cob. It's the kind that you either turn into popcorn or corn flour. Good for a lot of other.
There's the ones I've got. The ones I got are like corn on the cob, but multicolored.
Okay, interesting. I have to look more into it, but I have heard of it. In some states, US, we have
the only problem with corn is
called,
it can be a pain to grow.
Smashing pumpkins. Oh yes, I've heard of pumpkin smashing. If I also remember right, there was also like pumpkin tossing events where they would try and yeet a pumpkin the furthest, either with a catapult or by hand. Yes, pumpkin yeeting. Of course, there's also exploding pumpkins, but Jesus Christ. Just be safe. That's all I can say. Just, don't end up losing parts of your body or getting hit by a pumpkin. Flying pumpkins. Yeah, that's a thing. They drop huge pumpkins on cars. Oh, yes. I'm not surprised. I'm honestly not surprised that it happens over in the US. Sounds like fun. Definitely, but jeepers creepers would it be messy. Excited for Halloween. I'm over here in New Zealand. We don't do a lot of Halloween, but I am kind of celebrating it in VR, so I'm having fun. Yeah. But yeah, and hello to all the other new people that joined the stream. It's great to see you. We're going to be joining a different world in a sec. Let's see here. I've got all kinds of different things I find in my lists of worlds. I think I've got a oh, that world wasn't the one that ran smoothly, now that I remember. But yeah. What scary movie did you watch that scared you the most? Hard to say if I can think about it. I'm not too sure. I don't watch a lot of scary movies. As Peaches said, I watch more of the kind of funny comedy style horror movies, if anything. The ones where it's like, a bunch of people end up doing stupid stuff, and it's kind of. I'm trying to remember one of them. It was a zombie movie or something. It was actually British themed, if anything. Yeah, that narrows it down a little. A little. Nightmare on Elm Street. Ooh. And
one cheesy one I've got on
Oh yeah.
DVD.
Oh yeah.
A cheesy one I've got on DVD I'm tempted to watch at some point. The Invisible Man.
I think I've heard about that briefly.
There's a film called that.
Yeah. Oh, there's one of my friends' worlds that we can go to in a bit. Let me just see what other stuff I've got first. See if I've got anything for this Halloween. Palace. Let's see here. I'm just seeing through my worlds list to see if there's anything that's kind of remotely Halloween themed. I think I know where I can find one that is. Let's see here. I might have it under this. Recently visited. No, it'll be under one. That's where it would be. Let's just go scroll down a little bit. Here we go. Friends Plus. Oh no, wrong one. Wrong one. I have to actually scroll down again. And there it is. Halloween themed one. And Friends Plus. And drop a portal right here. Here we go. Here's a Halloween themed world. Wow. It. Oh, of course, it's one of those ones. Yeah. That's what I was going to say earlier. Does anyone remember the time before what was it? Does anyone remember how there was that clown craze? Like how there used to be a whole bunch of like people going out scaring people crazy with creepy clown costumes? And like sometimes it was like in the middle of nowhere on a road. That was a thing back in, I think it was roughly 2017 to like late 2019. Maybe a little later, middle bit more earlier than that maybe. Oh, there goes a zombie. Shuffling about. It wants brains.
Wants brain.
Did you know every year they make a new Halloween movie? Yeah, I'm not surprised. Someone out there probably does it and makes a few bucks off of a Halloween movie. Whether it be a bigger studio like some sort of Hollywood one or some small B-roll movie studio located in who knows where and does who knows what. But yeah, there's lots of different groups. There's also people on YouTube that make content for Halloween and all that too. A lot of people are a big fan of Michael Myers. Oh, I'm not surprised. There's all kinds of said content of that nature. Wee. Oh yeah, there's the candy corn. There's an Among
and
Guy here.
Snickers.
Among Guy. Candy corn. Blah. Blah. The M&Ms with the other stuff as well. Watermelon.
We'll just do that. I'm tempted to try candy corn. I never go around to trying it.
I'd say try it. You'll either like it or not. It's one of those ones that's 50-50 for people. Well, Volk, I have to go now. Okay, John. It was good seeing you. It was really nice to catch up again. You have a great Halloween and stay safe. And best of luck with your trick-or-treating. Oh.
Hat.
Yeah. Good seeing you again. I'll see you next week. Okay, John. You have a great time. Halloween, trick-or-treating, and all the rest. Yee. Wow. But yeah, it's honestly quite amazing seeing some of the things people have created this year. Yeah. Yeah, there's also the idea of making a few movies and all that. Definitely sounds about typical for Halloween.
Wait. What's that doing up there?
Oh my god, there's a creeper on the ceiling. There's a creeper. Let me just go like this. Yeah. Creeper. Oh man. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I'm not surprised. You see some funny things in some VR worlds. Yeah. This one's been around for a very long time, this world. I'm actually surprised it runs as well as it does and is still around. Hello, Jeff. How you doing? Yeah. Wah. Bah. We're currently just cruising around in VR worlds and enjoying our little Halloween. As well as just...
Wouldn't mind getting the body tracking working better.
Ah. Yeah, I've thought about getting body trackers and all that. They're kind of fun to play around with. Yee.
I might see if I can be a good boy and get the get product tested with one of them. Because some of them, if you get product tested, you get to keep them. Essentially.
Okay, yeah. Best of luck with that if you end up doing that. Yeah. Either way, it just helps make products better. Yeah. Yeah, like, if a company wants to do testing and they actually, like, they either give you a product or some kind of discount on said product, I'm fine with that. As long as they, like, open about what they're doing. Like, say Steam's going, hey, we want to either give you these as a payment if you can help us with testing them, or a discount on buying a set of them, then I'm perfectly fine with that. Like, that's perfectly good kind of marketing for a company to do that sort of stuff. With making a product that, like, they test it by, giving it to people to try out and see if it works. Because everyone has different hardware, such as, of course, things like, I have a different GPU than what Peaches has, and I have a different monitor, a different headset, and different everything. I have a different setup to what everyone else has. That's the thing with PCs. They're kind of different. Some people run Linux, some people run Windows. So it's a little bit of a 50-50 if something works or if something doesn't work. But, the great deal about it is it's got a, it's okay. It's kind of 50-50 with my streams. I just have people come and go. And it's cruisy, or we don't have a lot going on. I might be doing more streams later on this next week, and yeah. Bah. I just do one a week and just have fun. Bah, you're poking me. Wow.
Poking with a devil fork.
You're a cheeky devil. Bah. Oh, well. How long have I been streaming for? I've been streaming for over an hour and 19 minutes. Yeah. We'll go a little longer, I think, though. It's been quite a nice, fun stream, and I have enjoyed seeing everyone who showed up. Yeah. Yeah.
When there's not many people enjoying in the stream that much, I've noticed.
Everyone's been kind of busy. It normally picks up around November to December, and a little bit after that sometimes. Due to people having time off work and all that, and I can have a lot more people in stream and It depends. It's very 50-50 with me when it comes to streaming. And honestly, I don't mind it when it's quiet. I just do my own thing and I have fun with it. Aw,
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah. Yeah. I just have fun. This is literally just my way of just relaxing and zoning out from doing projects. I get to talk about things and have fun. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Hmm?
They've somehow done that Sonic 3D.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, it's a 3D hologram almost. It's hard to see in desktop from anyone else, but if
Yeah.
I go like this and slowly rotate around, you can kind of just see how there's a 2D image that sits on a 3D box. That's cool, honestly. I've actually seen that effect done practically IRL, where they have like there's 3 bits of glass. The first one is the frontal glass, and then there's a second piece behind it with the images on it, and then there's a final back plate which has like the background. It's actually really cool.
Yeah.
They use it in like
I've
things
seen
like
them do that with
signs
like
and
Pokemon cards.
that's more of a
Those are
3D
really
image.
neat.
That technique, they have
Yeah.
what's called a lenticular lens, if I'm pronouncing it right. The best way to say it, it's like a bunch of little wee. It's a piece of plastic with lots of little wee ridges in it, and if you like, you can run your finger over it, you'll hear like a zzz noise when you run your finger over it the right way.
One I remember when I was a kid, you don't see anymore. The holograms. The old green holograms.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking
Them
about.
kind of a really old thing you don't see anymore.
Kind of like holographic images they put on things like banknotes and some FPOS cards and stuff. Things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're
Because
talking
they
about.
used to do them for like Halloween figures and that kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
holograms are more of a 90s and 80s thing you don't see anymore.
Yeah, I know, right? Wow. And yeah. So I think we'll go to one more world before we quit out of streaming for the day. Let's see here. I've got all kinds of
Oh,
worlds
that's
under
what
my
we're stepping on.
favourites.
There's just a random screw.
Oh, make sure you don't step on that.
There's a random screw.
That could be a bit of a screw up if you stepped on that in the wrong way. Didum-tus. Okay, here we go. This is the actual world that vrchat made for Halloween. They have their home world. They decorate it out depending on events happening. Like, for instance, it had a Pride theme to it on Pride Month. And then they also had one, I believe, for a few other events. Yeah, there we go. This one is Halloween themed. I think it's pretty cool. They don't have so much pumpkins, but they do have like the massive glowing orange mushrooms, which I think looks cool too. That's something you don't see a lot in like yeah, like they got Jacko mushrooms instead of Jack-o'-lanterns mushrooms. Yeah, that's kind of cool. But yeah, having a big mushroom instead, that's kind of cool too. For anyone who ever wants to do
destroyed that building was from the last Halloween one.
Yeah. So this one's the Halloween one. Yeah. They've changed it around a bit. Yeah. They've got all kinds of cool stuff here. Yeah. Can't
Stuff
pick up
around
those.
in the main world.
Mm.
Because after Halloween, it's just the standard evolving world.
Yeah. They sometimes keep things up for a while and then they kind of switch it between different events like Halloween and all that. Yeah. And they're just basic udon pins. Whee! Yeah. VRC boxing. Yeah. 100 avatars garden. Also, essentially a whole bunch of avatars. These are just like your basic VR chat worlds. You're most likely... Oh, Peach has just decided to drop off the edge. Yeah. I think a lot of things have been learnt from, Jacko mushrooms. Jacko mushrooms. My favourite mushrooms. Yes.
I don't think we have any new avatars.
Sometimes they do add stuff, but it's kind of 50-50 on the quality with default avatars.
Yeah.
There has been quite a few furry avatars actually added to VR Chat's default list. Like the otter, a dinosaur.
The stinky otter.
And a few other things. Yeah, the freak hound, the tiger bee, and all that were added quite a while ago.
I would
So
say
it's not
the
just-
freak hound.
Yeah,
I'd say
use
the
that as a
freak hound's
default.
probably one of the best defaults.
Yeah,
Because that's the most detailed, really.
it is a decent model. Yeah. Is soup a smoothie or food for a drink? Good question there, ain't that? I think it's kind of one of those cases of, yeah, it's kind of a bit of both when you think about it. It just depends on what you got in it. Is it
I should get that
vegetable with...
checked up at some point.
Hmm?
But every so often I just get a dry cough.
Oh, yeah, that can be a thing. It depends on if you just got, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, definitely food is weird sometimes. Like tomatoes, the people call them a vegetable, but yet they're technically a fruit.
Yeah.
Gold.
Gold
The
roses.
gold rose. That's Coco. Wah. Yeah. Bah.
Or people call a potato a vegetable when it's technically a carbohydrate.
Yeah. Yeah, there's all kinds of interesting things about it. So that makes ketchup a smoothie then, I guess, technically. Yeah. But yeah, it's funny
But
how...
then can you call mayonnaise a smoothie?
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Because technically mayonnaise is just egg and oil.
Technically, yeah. Yeah, it's like egg, oil, and I think a little bit of other stuff. I think it's vinegar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the one funny thing I find is over here, you find some I found a recipe on the internet for making you know the sweet and sour sauce they have for McDonald's chicken nuggets? I found a recipe that's like an old version
I can't
of the
stand sweet and
McDonald's.
sauce.
Well, I found a recipe for it.
Yeah.
Go figures though. Like sometimes you'll find recipes for things that that are commercially made just out on the internet, or a close enough.
Well, the funny one
representation of
I've
it.
done before.
Mm?
A funny one I've done before is Ed sauce from Ed Burger.
Oh God.
Because there's not really a full recipe on that sauce, so
Yeah.
you can get most of the ingredients, but then you just have to make up the rest of the ingredients.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And because
Oh.
it's from the 90s, it has to have food colouring. So
I'm not
it's like
surprised.
luminous red.
Yeah, I'm not surprised in the slightest with a lot of foods from back then. They try and make them vibrant and unique to each maker of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, each product and all that. Try to outdo the other to make them more vibrant. Yeah. Some companies just manage to find a way to make food bright coloured without having to add too much to it. That's a trick, that is.
Yeah, food colourings usually.
It's usually a mixture of natural dyes these days. Most of them.
And what's funny with the food colouring powders I can get from a local shop, some of them have the banned E numbers in the UK. Like in Red
Yikes.
40.
Oof.
which they banned because it was causing hyperactivity in children. That's why they ban those.
Oh, too much sugar.
No, it's the chemicals in there causes them to go hyper
Oh boy.
to get that colour.
Oof. Yeah.
I know
Too
a
much
shop that still
caffeine.
sells for that stuff from the 90s.
Oh, I'm guessing they've got a massive box of it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what's called new old stock. It's when you go looking for something and it's still
And
in its
that's what I
original
like
box.
about. Yeah, that's what I like about 90s. If you want like a vibrant colour for something, food colouring.
Yep.
It's just food colouring.
Just a moment. Bop.
And that's
Ba-dum,
especially
bum, bum,
handy
bum,
if you
bum.
want.
There
If
we
you want
go,
anything
guys.
like a dark black colour, you can use charcoal or food colouring because.
Yeah. Oh yeah, charcoal's commonly
Well,
used to
some
make things
places
black.
use, which I really hate with especially like Halloween foods, is some of them they use squid ink to make it black.
Oh gosh, that stuff's potent.
And that stuff stinks.
Yeah.
And
For
it
anyone who
kind of
doesn't know,
ruins it.
squid ink is really potent stuff. It's really potent ink. There's people who have gotten that stuff on their skin, and weeks later it's still on their skin. It soaks into everything.
Yeah.
So if you catch it,
It's like
if
if
you
you
go
want
squid fishing,
something.
be careful. Make sure, most times what people do when they catch squid, they try to get them to eject their ink out in the water before they haul them on board, just so they don't squirt it everywhere. And once they, when they're processing it, they have to make sure to be careful not to burst the ink sac. So they carefully remove it and then toss it overboard.
It's in a bit inky situation.
Yeah, you'll be a messy situation, and whoever's boat that is, they're not going to want you back on their boat. Because they'll have a big black splotch on their boat for who knows how long until either they sand that area down and then repaint it or cover it with something. Yeah, so if you've got a boat that's really fancy, avoid catching squid on it, and if you want to, make sure you lay something down that you don't care it gets stained black. Same with your clothing. Make sure you wear your old dirty
or just
clothes
paint the
that you
rest
don't
of the
care.
boat black.
Maybe.
Or
If you
just
don't
paint
mind
the
your
rest
boat
of
getting
it black
hot in
and
the
then camouflage.
Yeah. You just have the smell of squid on your boat for who knows how long.
Yeah. But that's where I like the
Yeah.
old ways of stuff because it doesn't have the fishy smell.
Oh yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
much.
Oh, it's all that, yeah. How long have we been streaming for? We've been streaming for an hour 32. So I think we'll yeah. Does that mean I can paint a boat for free? Technically, yes. Technically. If you have enough squid, you could probably paint a boat. Like, if you've got a wood boat, technically you could. Technically, you could use that squid ink if you were to make a whole bunch of it into an ink that you could be able to spread on the boat's wood. It would stain it really dark black. In some cases, that actually would look good. You might have to like mix it with something like alcohol to thin it down. But other than that, yeah, it would spread just like paint. It would just spread like paint. I don't know how long it would last, but
one boat I find interesting. There's British narrow boats.
Oh yeah, they're like the canal boats.
And weird narrow boats, yeah.
Yeah, the canal boats are designed to go through all the canals in the British areas. We don't normally have those sorts of narrow boats as much because we don't really have canals. We do have rivers, but most people who go on those are either on small jet boats or kayaks and canoes and rafts. Most of the time, when it comes to those, like you'll see some people in some of the shallow rivers take their jet skis and jet boats out on them. Those aren't made of wood. They're actually either made of one of two materials, either made of fiberglass or plastic. And the reason for the plastic hull is actually kind of ingenious. If one of these plastic boats hits a rock The plastic can bend and flex a lot more than wood or fiberglass or metal. Metal will dent and crack, wood will splinter and smash, and fiberglass does kind of the same thing. But yeah, it's really cool though. Learning the properties of material. But yeah, with the plastic,
One
it's just
thing
like
I
a
think
drum.
would be funny, I've not seen anyone do make a Reliance Robin into a boat.
Ah, yeah.
They technically could because it's a fiberglass body.
Oh, yeah. I guess so.
They could, in theory, make it into a boat, but they're light.
Ah. Yeah.
They just have a three-wheeler boat.
Fun thing though. Over here in New Zealand, there was a person who turned a van into a boat. And then they sailed it, or more as drove it, across the Cook Strait to the North Island. Yeah. They made a van that could actually be driven across the water. It had a little wee propeller that could push it along. That was hooked up to the drive shaft. And when they got in the water, they could engage it so that it could just be used like a boat. It is. It's very impressive Kiwi ingenuity. A lot of work went into making that. I've seen it in person once. A lot of foam, sealing, and modifications to the van were done to make it so that it could be both safe on the water enough that they could be able to do this, and able to float well enough. Now, do note that vans are a very top-heavy vehicle for the most part because they're really tall. So as a boat, it's a very weird choice. It was more like a barge, a small barge, but it did travel quite well in those conditions. Yeah. I wonder how quickly it can drive. It probably, from what I heard, it was not quick. Compared to even a standard boat with a very basic engine, nothing really powerful, it was still very slow. Because you've got this thing that's it's like pushing a square through water. It's not going to go that fast. But it did go fast enough they could out across a large amount of open water on an okay day. I wouldn't say anything too crazy in terms of weather, but they managed to do it. I'm going to say it's a pretty impressive feat for anyone who's able to accomplish those kinds of feats. It shows you, though, people will make things. If they have the time, resources, and skill, they will make something. That's always interesting. That's what I like about seeing vrchat. It's like a dragnet of just creativity you get to see. It just makes it more impressive. It does, honestly. There are people that make some pretty crazy vehicles out there. For instance, there's people out there who literally will have... If you've ever seen those... sometimes they're called a parasail or a fan gliding or something like that. Essentially, what you've got is a standard issue parachute that you can steer.
The worst I've seen is an East German car called an amphibicar.
Oh, I can imagine.
Them do not work very well on the water.
Yeah.
You'd be going about 10 miles an hour on the water with one of those.
Ah. Yeah. What I was saying was, essentially you've got a parachute, and you've got a large fan that's powered by a small petrol motor strapped to your back. And essentially, you turn on the fan, you have the parachute laid out way behind you, and you turn the fan on, and you get going. What happens is, the fan pushes you forwards, it also blows air against the your parachute, which gets that up into the air. Then once that's up in the air, you're going forwards, getting pushed along by the fan, and then eventually you take off. It's weird. It's one of the more odd ways that people can transport themselves. It's the most lightest weight and cheapest form of travel for its size. that you could literally have it literally strapped to your back, and when you're not using it, you just fold up the parachute and then can walk around with the prop unit on your back. It's probably quite heavy, but it wouldn't be too bad. I've carried lots of weight on my back in the past. It does, as long as you know what you're doing. And, just make sure you maintain your parachute so there's no holes or rips in it. It would probably be quite a efficient way of getting around. And with it being, if you're using a decent sized parachute, if the engine runs out of fuel mid-flight, you can just drift gently back to the ground like a leaf. That's one of the advantages of it. It's like, if you run out of fuel, you'll just gently float back to the ground because you've already got a parachute out.
One I find interesting is those car aeroplanes.
Oh yeah, those.
Like the 60s.
Those are weird.
Which didn't do very well.
It's because of all the weird regulations.
You essentially got your
it.
wings and everything and just bolted to your car and fly.
Yeah. You had to have like a whole bunch of different transporting certifications in order
to have
just
a trailer behind you, basically.
Yeah. Once you got it to the air, the idea was originally this thing would technically be classed as a car on the road, but once you got it to the airport and bolted everything onto it, it technically became a plane. Technically. It's weird technicalities in this whole thing, and it's, oh my gosh, some of the things you find in
the only thing I could imagine with one of them is what would happen if you didn't bolt one of the wings on properly.
Oh yeah, you would have issues.
Well, bye-bye.
The problem, and here's the thing, a lot of small aircraft do the exact same thing with them. They bolt together like that. The main chassis stays as one piece, and then you bolt the wings on. So most people who probably use aircraft of similar sizes probably are likewise double checking and triple checking that they've got all the bolts tightened up and everything fastened into place before they even think about starting.
So you don't just end up
falling
having a wing disappear.
Yeah. There was even someone who tried to invent an aircraft that was almost entirely inflatable. The idea was it was an airplane that could be packed away into a tiny little box, dropped from an aircraft so that someone who, say like a fighter plane crash landed, one of these could be dropped off to them, and they could then take off with that. Problem was it had a lot of issues with it collapsing when it was flying because it was just filling air.
Yeah,
that's a bad strength. But it was an interesting concept, which did lead to another way that they actually successfully pulled off, and this is probably the most insane and clever way of evacuating someone from an area without having to use a helicopter. And that was, of course, called a skyhook. Now, how these work is simple. You've got a bag which has a harness, a container of lifting gas, and a large weather balloon. You would fill the balloon with air, and it would carry the rope up into the air. Under this was a bunch of looped rope, and the idea was a plane would then see the balloon, and beneath it was a hook. It would then snag that line with the hook. You were harnessed into a harness, and then it would suddenly yoink you off the ground like you were just being plucked away. And the idea actually worked. It actually was tested and actually worked. Yeah, it is. It sounds like something from 007, but it actually was tested and was proven to work for extracting people from dangerous areas that they could not send in helicopters to extract them. Yeah, it was one of those things that they could use if they needed to. It's still probably, I wouldn't be surprised if some military groups out there that do kinds of stuff that's just, you'll never hear about because it's just classified kind of thing. They most likely extract some troops still to this day with this kind of technique. You just don't know about it and you just wouldn't hear about it kind of thing. That kind of technology. It's like stuff from the Cold War era is sometimes still used. And some of that stuff is still not even known about. just because of how just kind of how much of an advantage that it gives certain groups. Yeah, quick, yeah, easy and scary. But yeah, it's definitely impressive how people have come up with some pretty crazy ways of being able to move things, especially moving them without other people being able to know until it's already done. Has always been the way of escaping bad guys or escaping dangerous situations. Yeah. Knowing how to suddenly skedaddle out of a bad situation is probably the most handiest thing for any group of people to know. Both for civilian and military use. Because I do believe they have used this in some like disaster recoveries and all that. I believe in certain aspects.
Oh, there's a chair up here.
Yeah. Oh, cool. But yeah, I do enjoy going around some of the VR worlds that I've seen. Yeah. There's all kinds of interesting ones that I absolutely enjoy. And one of them probably has to be things like the Ferality worlds are always interesting to go and see. If you ever get onto VRChat, try out looking around like Ferality worlds. There's some beautiful ones. I haven't gone to one in a while. I might do that soon enough.
There's even an Ed and Eddie world as well.
Oh yeah, I think I've been to a couple of those. They're kind of fun. Yeah. Oh well. I hope you all enjoyed today's stream.
One surprise I've not seen on VR chat is a Futurama world.
You got a good point there. You really do.
I've not seen anyone do one of those.
It wouldn't be too hard to create. It's very basic in design, but just a matter of just spending time making something. Like I'd say either, if you were to make a world, start off with like an apartment like Bender and Fry's apartment. Just watch a heap of the episodes and get like basic details for it. And then just stitch something basic together. There you go. If anyone ever wants to make a Futurama themed VR chat world, make something basic to start off with, like Bender and Fry's apartment. And then just upload it as your own little creation and tag it under Futurama and all that sort of stuff. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who will favourite it and go and explore it. Yeah. Oh well. So thank you for everyone who did show up today. I do appreciate it. And also big shout out to all my friends who do show up to these, whether it be just in the comments here in the chat or who actually join me in VR chat. Thank you to Peaches today. He showed up without even me saying anything. He just decided to jump on it and gives him something to do and entertain himself for a few hours while we ramble about random things, and I'm glad everyone did enjoy. You all have a great evening and a great day. I did enjoy today. It was a lot of fun. Thank you. And see you again next week or whenever I make new content. Bye bye. Wah.